All right, today's topic is organizational buy-in. How do you get an organization that is really big to embrace something like Power Apps and really use it to the best of their ability and make it the go-to tool in order to build apps internally? This is a concern that came up in one of our recent office hours, and we wanted to kind of give some encouragement and help offer some ideas on how you can start down the path of getting a large organization to buy into a new tool.
Mile, I think the only thing I could recommend at this point would be people should be talking about it. You know, an organization your size probably has enterprise agreements with Microsoft. You can get deals on this stuff. I'm sure Microsoft would love to sell a bunch of licenses to you guys. It needs to be in somebody's ear because what you'll often find is somebody else in the organization is looking at using CRM or using something else. And by the by, if you buy a CRM license, you get you get licenses for some of these things, or at least partway licenses for these things. Like, somebody should be talking about it, whether or not it happens today or tomorrow, or like, it is what it is.
I think it forces a conversation where, particularly at larger organizations, when you start to use the Power Platform and you start to say, "Oh, I have to spend money to use it effectively," right? I need to buy 20,000 licenses, for example. Yeah. The organization will then have a strategic conversation about, what does the Power Platform mean for our business?
Correct.
And are we going to do something different? Or is this the platform that we're going to build everything on? So having those conversations is really good at a high level, at a strategic level.
So we just had another comment about this coming in from YouTube that says, the no money thing doesn't change the bigger the company. In fact, it gets worse. And it's, I can attest to the money thing it's not a big or small company problem. It's just different depending on which way you're looking at it and how it's going. So
I like small company better. It's easier to make the decisions.
Yeah, you only have a few people to convince.
Right. Which is why I like my small company.
Yeah.
Can I say something super quick, you guys?
Sure.
I think for us, my leadership has always been like, yeah, what do you need? It's just convincing them, why do we need to move that way? You've been able to produce all this work with SharePoint.
Yeah.
Tell me, like, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, so that's the big thing, is that what we're talking about is a organizational change. It's not a tactical thing, right? The problem they have, I can break it down for you fairly simply right now. Right now, most likely, I'm going to guess, if you were to win the lottery, because I was told not to say hit by a bus in the past meetings. That's too morbid.
But now you said it.
No, I did. You're right. But if you win the lottery and you don't come to work tomorrow, they're in huge trouble, probably, right? Not only are you the only one that probably understands all of these things, everything's in your name, in your control, not by your point, not because you made it that way, just because that's how that works, right?
Right.
Doing things in environments, number one, is better, but then doing things in Dataverse and in the Power Platform proper, all of those things get a lot easier, right? Your ability to manage those things, maintain those things, change those things, it's a completely different paradigm. It is the only place that you truly are getting into true citizen development, not citizen customization and not citizen, WYSIWYG doing other things. Like, there are very, very, very strong parallels between development practices that happen in the Power Platform and in Dataverse and what happens in traditional development, mostly because it's more like a SQL backend or a database DB backend. You have a lot more control. You're talking about a lot of the same things. You can interface with the things very similarly. That's not an answer to your real question, and I think creating a YouTube video would be really interesting on this topic, or another podcast.
The trade-offs, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I've got one SharePoint developer that builds all my business apps. What are the risks associated with that? And how much will that potentially cost me? Versus, we're going to do this on the Power Platform, and we're going to do it with automation accounts and multiple owners and a team, right? And how much is that going to cost me?
Yeah, and the big thing is, if you're going to go down that path of doing all those other things, you might as well buy the licenses, right? Like, that's the point. Isn't so much that they don't have to keep doing it the same way, but this way that they're doing it is a risk to the business. It's not to, and I want to be really, really clear, that's not to mean that what you're doing is bad. You should, even if you have all of these other things and you have those licenses, there's scenarios I would 100% use use SharePoint for. Like we use it today. There's no question I would use that still. But that flexibility to be able to choose the right tool for the job, the right tool for what I'm trying to do today is really important when an organization has chosen this is the platform that we want to use for this type of work.
Now, the other thing to bear in mind is, like Matt mentioned, Microsoft would love to sell 20,000 licenses at a discount.
For sure.
They would do it in a
Yeah,
heartbeat.
in a heartbeat.
The other
And
thing
in
I'll say
4
is,
years, it wouldn't be at a discount, though, just to be clear.
like, depending on what you're building, it doesn't have to be a per user license for all 20,000 users. It could be a per app license.
For app license, yeah.
for
If you can
50
make it work,
users, right?
yeah.
Like, it just depends on your scenario.
Hey, hopefully that was helpful and you enjoyed it. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll keep them coming as long as you guys show up and like these types of videos. And yes, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.